Hello, I'm Jim. Welcome to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the Tripods Trilogy by John Christopher. I just got back from Texas and I was reminded of the tripods, looking at all the stupid windmills they got out there in this one area. And every time I see those, it does remind me of these books. They seem to be about the same size as the tripods, and I don't know, for some reason, the way they ominously rise over the landscape puts me in mind of alien oppression. So uh, the three books are the individual books are the White Mountains, the City of Gold and Lead, and the Pool of Fire. And it follows Will, who is anxious to be capped one day. The tripods have been around for about 100 years, and everybody who turns 14 is collected and then capped. So they're basically taking up another tripod, head shaved, and a little silver caps put on their head to control their thoughts and emotions, keep them docile. So nobody really understands what's going on. It's been going on for so long that everybody is just follows along and does it kind of like appeasing the dragon by sacrificing a maiden once a year. So Will's mentor turns 14 and he gets capped, and the change that comes over him is very obvious, and it kind of startles Will, and he actually remembers a visit he had with her. Maybe it's around that time. He had with a vagrant who claimed to be uncapped, uh, and told them about people that are you know resisting, which seemed unfathomable beforehand at the time. So once he sees his friend come back all docile and dull, he and his cousin Henry take off to try to find the White Mountains where this resistance is headed up. Of course, the travels they have to travel to the continent. This takes place in England, I believe, and they have to travel to the continent. Where there they meet Jean Paul, but they call him Beanpole because they can't understand what he's saying. So the three of them continue to the White Mountains. They have to avoid uh, tripods along the way, and they also have to avoid people because the people all serve the tripods. So it's very harrowing their journey. They discover some things about the tripods, about themselves on their way, and then they do find the resistance movement at the at the uh, at the White Mountains. And that's the first book. The second book, uh, they um, the resistance is attempting to figure out to infiltrate the cities that these foreigners have built. They discover that the aliens are not the tripods themselves; those are just their vehicles. They're able to disable one of them and find out that inside are little beings that are not much. They're a little bit bigger than men, um, but they're not. An alien. They are an alien race. So um, they built these cities throughout the world. They're domed cities to control the atmosphere because these aliens can't survive in the Earth's atmosphere. Uh, every year or every few years, they have these games where they take the strongest of the humans to come into their cities and serve them. They need strong individuals because inside the city is, you know, the humans wear out fast. because the conditions aren't good for them. So uh, Will and his a bunch of his friends from the resistance, they sign up to participate in these games, and he is lucky enough to get selected, and he goes to one of the cities, which is of course the name of the book, City of Golden Lead. And it's a dome city. It's environmentally controlled, and he discovers that the aliens are actually they all have personalities. They have, they're different types of aliens. They're shaped like a three-sided pyramid, and they have three legs, and tentacles for arms, very similar to the tripods themselves. Um, anyway, they travel around quickly on their three legs, just like by spinning. Um, so Will's master turns out to be probably more mellow than some of the other masters. So he's fortunate that way. He only gets beat a few times, but it's still a very harrowing experience. He's trying to learn, what secrets are, what's going on, and he does discover that the aliens plan to change the Earth's environment to suit them. And of course, that would wipe out the human population. Uh, so it's imperative to get back out and warn the resistance and figure out what's going on. So he does eventually escape the city, but it does, a lot of things had to happen. He did find out another important weakness that they have, throughout or through his time there, and he's able to get out and take this information to the resistance. The third and final book is the Pool of Fire, and this is where they collectively attack the bubble cities to try to drive the aliens out. And they have a plan. They come up with a plan to do it, and have to execute it and see if they can get it to work. Um, of course, one of the main concerns is what's going to happen to all the people who are capped once the aliens leave, or if they do win. So a lot of questions on opportunity costs. What's it worth? What's your freedom worth? Things like that. So if you enjoy books like The Hunger Games or other dystopian novels, this is definitely a dystopian novel. Uh, Very good. I ran across these books when I was in Boy Scouts. I was probably 13 years old myself. They had a serial comic appear in the Boys' Lives issues, and that's what got me started on this. And I went to the library and found the books and read them. I've read them a few times. They're very good. They're much better written today than books today. So if you're tired of waiting around for the next big book, maybe dig into your library and see what old stuff you can find. A lot of it's written much better, and it's a pretty dark series, but it makes you think about a lot of things. Freedom versus security. Uh, you know, Resistance to the norms, just following along and being like a sheep. What price, what value does freedom have? And it seems like we need to educate a lot of people along those lines again. Uh, Maybe that toughen people up because we're dealing with similar issues right now all over the world, and uh, just it's time to toughen up and you know learn how to take care of yourself. Uh, so haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe and go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Uh, one